Hello. It's 2:05. I woke up at like 12, which is crazy. Because I went to bed at like 11:30, and then I know I was up until at least like 1:30 before I finally fell asleep. But still, sleeping for like 10 hours is kind of crazy. Um, I don't know. I think I just kind of needed it. Um, but yeah, hey, good afternoon, I guess. I I have a few things I want to do today. Number one, I want to see. I don't know yet, but I want to see if um, I can get rid of the two boxes of stuff I have to Goodwill. So I want to do that, and then I want to write the list up, and I also think it would be nice to compile all the videos um, for this week ahead of time because my sister wants me to drop stuff off tomorrow. Uh, so so yeah, I was thinking that. Um, Also, I kind of just realized anything that I can't fit within these three boxes, I think it's okay if I had a fourth box, even though I don't want a fourth box. But if I had a fourth box, it wouldn't be a big deal. Um, but there's a big but here. That fourth box would be something more relevant to just put in my car. Where it's like I'd probably use it more often than not, but it's not something that I necessarily am gonna bring with me on the trip or whatever. Um, because there's like I realize I have a bunch of like peripheral stuff on my computer for my computer stuff that isn't gonna really fit in the boxes, and me trying to cram everything into three boxes is it's fine. I think it's a lofty goal and it's great, but also I'm just kind of running out of space. um, and the difference between three and four boxes is not really a big deal. Um, when it comes to like a person that has basically everything packed into three or four boxes, right? So I don't know. I I think the main thing is everything needs to fit in my car in a reasonable manner. And I think I'm doing that very successfully. So, yeah. So there's that. Um, I also realized I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the whiteboard. It's very possible that the roommates might want the whiteboard because it's nice. Um, you can I don't know. It's just whiteboards are nice to have. So I feel like that whiteboard that I have all my stuff tracked on, they'll probably find a use for it. Um, so yeah, but anyway, so I want to get rid of the stuff, the two boxes plus I have like extra pillows, which it's like part of me thinks maybe I should save these pillows because they're newer and I should really just throw away the old pillows I have. Um, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these pillows yet, but we'll see. So, but anyway, the boxes of stuff I definitely am getting rid of. So, um, yeah, I so I want to do that, and I think that's my plan today. Is just, obviously it's the fourth, so that's cool. Um, But yeah, um, I don't know. I I definitely want to make this list because the sooner I make a detailed, comprehensive list, the sooner I can start marking stuff off, so I don't have to worry about it. Like in the shower, I thought of like, oh right, I wanted to get the powdered like shampoo conditioner stuff, and then the bar soap, along with the little pouches that like auto dry. I don't know how the technology works, but apparently you can have your bar of soap inside of the pouch, use it in the shower, and then it just kind of auto dries. You just let it sit, and it'll dry itself, um, which is great. So I'm like, yeah, I want that. Um, I have a stone, a little pumice stone or pumice stone or whatever you call it, that I'm using now consistently to like um, stop the like skin tearing stuff that was happening to my feet, um, and it's worked really well. I haven't had any issues, so I think really it seems like it builds up over time, and using that consistently has just made it go away. So that's great. Um, other than that, yeah, I can't really think of much else that I need to do today. So, yeah, I think the main thing is figuring out if there's anything else I need to buy and then buy it now because I have, you know, a couple weeks to get it sent in at this point. Um, so I should be using that now. And yeah, I still need to figure out the like clothes thing. There's a bunch of stuff on the list, so I'll have to make it. I do know that as soon as I really start like as soon as I remove the computer from the equation, um, my productivity is going to go up by a lot. I already know that's going to be the case because I'm going to be kind of pushed towards um, doing more of the thinking, uh, without having all of the computer stuff. Um, I have a laptop, but the laptop is just not the same as having a desktop. No matter how much I want it to be. So yeah, it's just a different feel, and I think that's going to help a lot. It's also going to push me one step closer to kind of being as prepared as I can be. Um, Also, getting back into the habit of sleeping without noise before bed, where like I truly kind of have like a cleaner habit of going to bed. Um, because I've been putting, I got my headphones that I use, and I'll be listening to stuff, and yeah, it's like obviously that's not the cleanest way to go to sleep. So yeah. Um. So other than that, I don't know. I think this upcoming week is going to be a really strong week. Uh, I'm I think realistically, if by Saturday, this next Saturday, if I can have almost everything checked off on my list, where it's either being sent to me via, Amazon, or um, I've bought it at a store or whatever. And I'm basically just like, if I can, like, okay, if I can have my first test pack of everything in the backpack by Saturday, where I have, like, I just put everything in the backpack and see what fits and what doesn't. Um, yeah, that would be a really big deal, because then I really would know how cl- how close or how far am I from having a one backpack solution. Um, so yeah. Also, I want to get like a little sling so I can have like important stuff on the front, chest thing. Um, maybe have like uh, I don't know. I'm the main thing is I'm thinking of like what can I do to have like the backup plan for like a financial situation with the credit card like in a safe spot to where if I get like robbed or if some fucked up thing happens, like I have a backup. That's kind of the main thing that I want to have figured out. Um, Not that I'm expecting to get robbed. Like I honestly think the whole trip's gonna go really well, and there's gonna be a lot of positive energy going. But just having like a backup of some kind would be very helpful. So yeah, um, we'll see. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get some stuff done, and I'll talk to you tonight. All right, bye. All right, guys, it's 11:41, and I made my checklist. I don't think I'm gonna read everything, but some of the big things. Um, Kind of checking my like monthly bills. So like, so I'm gonna put slash bills and turning off auto subscription stuff or things that just don't make sense anymore. Like, um, I need to keep remembering to turn off the auto pay um, for rent because I'm not paying rent next month. So things like that. So that's something I need to work on. I have bar soap and powder shampoo. I've been talking about that. Um, the electrolyte powder to refill my electrolytes without it being like I don't want it to be taste incredibly disgusting, and I also don't want it to be filled with a bunch of unnecessary chemicals or whatever. Um, so just something I can just put in my water, uh, and yeah, that'd be nice. Um, the clothes, I talked about that. The moisture wicking, like resistant to sweat and all of that stuff. Um, my passport photos, the plane tickets, the Airbnb and hotel and route, kind of having that kind of planned out. Again, it doesn't have to be like one to one full plan out, but having a general overview would be good. Um, Especially in like, as I get into places that don't necessarily have English as the first language, or just English speaking in general, you know, um, I won't have to worry about that as much in Europe, but it's still like Italy is mainly Italian. Wow, who would have thought? So yeah, there are a lot of English speakers in like Rome, but the further out you go, the less English speakers there are. So, um, yeah. So having all of that stuff booked in advance, if I can help it, would be great for, the first parts of the trip. Um, Once I start getting into like like I don't really know what's gonna happen when it comes to um, Vietnam, the Philippines, South Korea. Like those places are all gonna be kind of toss ups for me on like how am I gonna find a place? I don't know. So I'm gonna have to do research on that. Then uh, a strap, like a little strap of some kind, so I have easy access to like, you know, it's like more. It feels like it's more secure. Either that or have like I want something that's like an anti pickpocket like setup. Um, and again, it's not like I'm expecting to be pickpocketed or I'm expecting to have things stolen, but if I can limit the access points where it's like if nothing's in my pockets and the only time that I'm accessing stuff is when I unzip and zip this like little cross thing. It's in my field of view, it's up top. So yeah, like that's kind of my thoughts there. Um, Getting some euro because you know if I'm going to multiple countries in Europe, having some euros and cash as like a backup would be great. And yeah, I just think that that's smart. So doing that, I need to pick up my suit. Uh, that's coming up, so it's like technically the 10th or after to kind of get the fitting checked out and then get ready to go. So um, so I need to do that. I also want to get someone to come and fix the door, the door in my room. Uh, Figuring out the car. Dropping off stuff at Goodwill. The bed, desk, and whiteboard. Uh, those are the three things that I'm like not really sure what's gonna happen. I kind of suspect I'm just leaving it here, uh, and they're gonna figure it out. But yeah, who knows? Um, Google Maps, Google Translate, and the embassies all downloaded and marked so that I have, I think like there's kind of a middle ground between having something planned, loosely planned, and um, going too far on one way or the other of like not having any plan at all or um, having everything micro planned. So I think for the purposes of this trip, what I want to do, because I'm gonna shoot videos of like where I'm going, whenever possible, and kind of talk with you guys, talk about like what's going on. Um, so yeah, I think that'll be really fun. Um, I think I'm gonna do a lot of walking. So yeah, just having like places that I want to like actually look at and check out kind of marked on the map so that I'll still like, maybe I won't get to all the marked places. Um and maybe I will, I don't know. So, yeah, just kind of doing that and doing some basic research on each place so that I know what I'm getting into before I get there. Or at least like, you know, having a general overview. Um, so, copy of important passwords. Now, that sounds really silly, but I have a book that I write stuff down in, and I'm not bringing that along. that sounds really dumb. um, so that's staying probably with my sister. That's probably the safest place. Um, Especially because if I need to like get something that I just didn't write down or whatever happened, she can I can just call her and be like, "Hey, can you look in my book?" Whatever. Um, but generally speaking, like there's only a couple things that I haven't actively memorized simply because they're very obscure and I don't generally use them. So I don't even know if I'm going to need to write anything down. But just going through and checking to see if is there anything that like I need to check and write down. Make sure that the credit card is like active and working. So buy something with the credit card and then pay it off and get through that process so that I know what I need to do to pay online. So if I have to, again, it's a card that's with uh, the ecosystem I'm already in. So it shouldn't theoretically be a big deal, but we'll see. Um, Now, I thought about this as I was writing this stuff down. A thin wallet or some sort of like dummy wallet. And what I mean by that is effectively having two wallets. One that has like, my important stuff in it. And then another that is my wallet that effectively I mainly use to like pay for food or whatever. And basically, if I ever have a scenario where I get like robbed or whatever, I can just hand over that wallet and it's not a big deal, Um, so that's kind of my thought on it. Again, a lot of this stuff is probably not going to come up, but just having it as a just in case thing um, would be nice. So I thought about that. My handheld like streaming or Steam game / emulator device, having all of that I want on there downloaded and added and all of that stuff so that I can play everything that I want to. Because I do think that like especially on like these 10-hour flights, like being able to play a bunch of like the backpack battles or whatever while I'm listening to a book or listening to a stream or whatever, like I'll just fly by the whole thing. I'll be a little uncomfortable, but whatever. So that's my thought there. And then just like any videos that I might want, like I want to update my music. So I want to download the latest playlist stuff, the videos just as MP3 so I can listen to it while offline or whatever. And yeah, I just think that like that would be nice. And just making sure that my computer is like set up and ready, my laptop specifically, is set up and ready to be able to just do the editing that I normally do on this computer. Which, this is going to be the last time I'm filming it from this angle. So theoretically, this mic will be put with my other stuff. I mean, technically, it's like I could technically bring this mic with me without. I could just like unscrew it at the base here, I just don't know if that's like worth it because it is bulky. Like, here, let me show you guys. You can see it's a pretty decent size. Um, and I don't know how much better the quality really is. Like, I don't even know if you guys can tell. Um, Other than the fact that it gets quieter, which I have to then uh, uptick the decibel level in order to compensate, because the action camera has great quality of audio, but it's louder. So this is just a lot softer, so I have to move it up. Um, but anyway, I ended up just going through the whole list, by the way, so I was like, okay, whatever. Um, and then after all of this checklist stuff is done, and I want this checklist done by the end of the week. That's my goal, is to either um, have it like coming in the mail if it's something that I've like bought, or just to like, just in general, just having this prepared. And what I want to do is I want to have a very basic routine in the morning that I get used to doing, that includes like a little, maybe some Tai Chi, some energy slash clearing space stuff. I want to do some writing, and then obviously doing the morning recording, right? Um, so I think that will be the key set of stuff. Um, and in terms of writing, I something's cooking in the background. I do have this deeper idea for kind of a much larger um, setting that kind of encompasses all of my previous ideas on reality and all of this stuff combined together to form kind of my best interpretation of the universe, and kind of what some parts of it may look like. And the parts would be the fantasy stories that I'd write. So, like I had this idea for a while ago. I I had worked on, okay, so there's like, I'd worked on this game concept and like set of game worlds for a while, and I was planning on creating them in VR chat, and then kind of seeing what people thought about each individual world. And it just never panned out because, well, I started doing this, and I don't know, I realized that I need to be out there doing things, not sitting behind the computer too much. Because when I sit behind the computer, I get disillusioned, and there's a whole thing. I've gone through this speech before, but yeah, I just need to be out interacting with people, and I don't know, like, there's something out there I'm supposed to be. It's like there's someone I'm supposed to be meeting. I don't know, like, or a group of people or whatever. I don't know where these people are, but um, you know, they're not gonna. I mean, theoretically they could, but like they're not really gonna have as easy of a time finding me if I'm sitting in my room all the time. I'm gonna have to go out and allow for my kind of gravitational field to draw the people in, that are supposed to interact with me. So yeah. Um, so yeah, that's, I guess, where I'm at. And right, so the writing. Basically, the plan is to, I don't know. I have some ideas that I want to kind of flesh out and see what happens. I'm someone who really enjoys doing the like writing by the seat of my pants, where I have like general outlines of like um different places, different like races and that kind of stuff, but nothing specific or concrete. And then having my main character kind of plot through the world, and the world kind of getting generated as, oh sorry guys, as I have the main character walk through different areas. Because what tends to happen is things just pop up. And what I mean by that is like, um, this happened a lot in D&D when I used to DM. And I have a lot of experience doing this, where I'll write, I don't know, a paragraph or two about a world that the players, because so I was doing a I have to backtrack. So I was doing a cosmic campaign. So they were flying around in a starship, and they had like um demiplanes and whatnot that they housed like their little like compounds, and they had resources and all of this stuff. So they were pretty high level. They were in solidly in the epic level range of 21 plus. And so yeah, they flew around on their little starship, and they went from planet to planet, kind of like discovering different things, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And one thing that I would do is I would write like, okay, Planet A, um, this is this is what Planet A has on it, and maybe I'd have like, okay, I have an encounter set up where if they go onto Planet A, they can discover this underground ruins, and this underground ruins has a giant like labyrinth that they can explore. I remember doing that where they spent so long in there. It was like, I understand why they did it, but they literally spent like 3 or 4 months of like D&D sessions in this underground ruins. And it was partially my fault because I just like overestimated how fast they were going to be at getting through all of this, and underestimated how much time each encounter within that labyrinth was going to take. So I ended up kind of helping them along and speeding them up. Um, but it was like, yeah, that was a whole thing. And so I set that up, but I didn't know if they were ever going to interact with it. So I did some basic, background work, but I let the story play out, and then just kind of, if something came to my head of like, oh yeah, this would be a really funny idea, I just make it happen then and there. Um, and so that's what I really like doing when I write, is I have a basic general idea of where the characters are and what's at play in the background, but specifics I just let flow literally into my head. It's like uh I'm channeling the character, and then the character tells me what's there. Um and so it's really fun. That's what I love about writing the most, is I can just go into full flow and let the character tell me what's there, almost like I'm seeing through the character's eyes. Um, so yeah, so that's it has to be like writing has to be part of my daily thing because I do love writing. So, um, yeah, that's like not a non-negotiable thing. And I haven't been doing it recently, in the past, several months because I realized that I didn't have all the pieces for the actual story I wanted to write due to missing some key things in my mind and through the experiences I've had. And so this journey has really helped to introduce some of those missing pieces. And that's where I think this trip is going to be helpful because, I'll start um, the first day that I'm in, I guess, Virginia will be the first day I'm going to be writing down and starting to work on my writing. Um, so, yeah, that's the plan. I also realized I'm going to be consistently moving up in sleep time, where the days will be short because I'm going um like the time zones that I'll be moving to are going to be getting later and later as I continue forward, or ahead, if you will. Um, and so consistently going, like, oh, this is like 6 hours ahead. Oh, this is 4 hours ahead. Oh, this is 2 hours ahead. Whatever it is, right? Um, that means that my sleep is going to consistently be jumping forward a couple hours at a time. So I realistically need to be, it's like 12:07 now. I realistically need to be waking up pretty early so that then um, by the time I like start moving my sleep, I can keep just the pace of being able to wake up at like 8 a.m. That's like a decent time. It's not too late as a starting point. It's not too early. Um, and so that's kind of where I want my sleep to be. And yeah, hopefully I can kind of make jet lag less apparent. Um, so I think my first plan is to try and start waking up at like 5. Um, so that then effectively I'm sleeping at like a midway point between here and Italy. So, yeah, that's the plan at least. Um, and again, if I just do it slowly, I can slowly work my way there instead of doing it all at once. And a lot of this stuff that I'm doing in these last few weeks is about transitioning slowly as opposed to jumping headfirst without a plan or any of that stuff. Because, I've done that and it's fine and it works out, but if I slowly ease my way, it's going to make it easier. Um, and so that's where a lot of the work ahead of time comes in so that my journey is smoother. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm doing this not to like, I am going out of my comfort zone and I am pushing myself, but there's also this idea that I'm supposed to be having fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And so Um, you know, removing some of the rough edges ahead of time, if I can, that'll be incredibly helpful. So I want to do that. Um, but yeah, I think like for the most part, that's really what I have to do. And it sounds like a lot, but honestly, a lot of this stuff is like things that will just happen. It's like a one-off thing, and then it's done, and then I can check it off. Like doing the bar soap and the powdered shampoo stuff. Once I find something, boom, done, checked off. I don't have to worry about it. Um, I also want to get the pouches. Pouch for soap. Yeah, because there's these pouches that I've talked about that dry the soap and make it not slimy. Um, so that'd be nice. Um, but yeah, I feel like I have a really good handle on how things are going, and it's not as overwhelming as I was initially thinking it was gonna be. There's still a lot to do, but I'm actually okay. I'm okay, and I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and that's it. Um, so yeah, that's the that's the plan. In terms of what I did today, um, honestly, part of it, like yeah, I did a little bit of I wrote everything down. I talked to my sister about like what the plan is for tomorrow. I talked to my buddy about like, hey, I'm really tired. Can we do it tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So my plan is to wake up by like 8 today or tomorrow, which means I need to go to bed like pretty much now. So I'm gonna do that, but yeah, just kind of wanted to mention that. Also, I'm not getting enough magnesium. I can tell. My body is having some occasional twitching stuff, so I need to make sure to be eating more greens. That's the main thing. So, um, specifically, okay, I'm gonna look this up real quick, and then I'll be done. Um, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, broccoli is in fact high in magnesium. Um, let's see here. What the fuck is this site? I found a random site called Broccoli Lovers. It's really funny. They're like, yeah, just so you know, rice. Uh, what's amazing about rice, cabbage, or cauliflower when you have the benefits of broccoli? And there's like, I'm just looking for. Okay. Bro, where's your magnesium levels? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I need, apparently, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I trust this site. It says that I need 370 milligrams of magnesium a day. And one floret, 100 grams of broccoli florets, is 29 milligrams of magnesium. So a 10% of your daily value, which, you know, it's obviously good. 100 grams of florets is like not even a lot. Like a cup. Yeah, I mean it's almost a cup. 91 grams is about a cup. So you think about getting like, you can get like 30% of your daily value from just broccoli if you get a couple cups of broccoli. Then you throw in some other veggies and suddenly it's like, okay, you got it all. So yeah. Anyway, is there anything else that I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I found out pistachios have a decent amount of magnesium as well. It's like you get like, I don't know, you get like 10 or 15 milligrams of magnesium from it, from like it's like 28 pieces. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I need to go to bed. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be, I guess, the last day I'll have my computer, assuming everything goes to plan. And then tomorrow, well, I guess at night you'll see me recording from the laptop. So I guess I should try out the lapel mic and just see what it sounds like. But the main thing is I want to test out and see how long it takes me to use the laptop. Well, I mean, I might just do that next week, because this week I'm going to be I'll still have the computer tomorrow, so like at least in the morning. So my thought is like, okay, I get everything at least to the compiled. I get everything compiled and rendered, and then, you know, the upload will probably be on the laptop. But there's no like change. It's just the laptop will be plugged in. So I don't know. Okay, I'm really leaving now. Okay, bye. Have a good night.